love, joy. Actually, there is a song we used to sing when we were kids. Love, joy, and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit. Hi guys, my name is Dreti.
And my name is James.
And this is
The Authentic Adventist Home.
And today we are going to be discussing what are the important factors to consider when getting into the relationship, and
Is age one of them?
Stay tuned. So we all know that there are several factors to consider when getting yourself into anything, right? You always want to be prepared. You always want to know what am I getting myself into, and what are the things to consider. And now we're going to talk about relationship, which is one of the things that gets you into one of the most important decisions to make in life, which is marriage, right? Like, it's through a relationship, a romantic relationship, that you get into marriage and decide that this is the person I want to settle with for the rest of my life. But before you make that decision, there are some things to consider, right? And marriage is something that can either ruin you or
build you.
Yeah. So you have to really pay attention. So what are some of the factors that we should consider, or people out there should consider?
Yeah, so one of the most important factors is, as you're observing that person, what are their values, right? What are the values that they hold? Because you're going to be entering into a relationship with this person, and the values that they have need to align with yours.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of conflict, or the person is going to make you compromise.
Yeah.
And one of the most important thing about someone you would want to enter into a relationship with is their walk with God, right?
True.
So does this person have the fruit of the Holy Spirit?
Yep.
Some of the fruits are
Love, joy. Actually, there is a song we used to sing when we were kids. Love, joy, and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruits of the Spirit of God. You find it in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. And if you're walking close to God, these fruits will grow in you. And you have love, joy, and peace. Patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruits of the Spirit of God. The fruits of the Spirit of God. Now, I haven't sung this song in a while. I last learned it in my first VBS. You can imagine. I was so young.
Wow.
But I may have missed a few. But you get it. Love, joy, peace, patience. All these things. Like, hey! I'm one of them, but having an impatient person, how is it?
You're patient. I mean, sometimes you like blaming yourself that you're impatient, but I mean, we have different temperaments, different personalities, so it's not all about patience, right?
Yeah, but it's really important that you have someone who has the same values as you, whom as you heard in that song, and if you're walking close to God, these fruits will grow in you. So if that person is walking close to God, then those fruits will be a part of what they bear, right? It's like a tree. You cannot have a mango tree bearing oranges, right? So if you're walking close to God, and God is like the nutrients, if you're walking close to God, these fruits will grow in you. And you have to ask yourself, are these fruits growing in that person, or is it otherwise? You can explain. I can explain. Yeah. So you have to assess all these things. This is one of the most important factors to consider. And also, are they respectful?
Yeah. and it's not just respectful to you, but to other people.
To
As you
other
observe
people.
them, because when someone is in love with you, they can respect you so well. But then if they don't respect other people as
what assures
they
you
do,
that they will respect you?
Yeah.
Even like and this doesn't just apply to for a woman looking onto a man, but even a man, does your woman respect people? Because one of the things she's gonna have to do in that relationship is respect you, the man. So if she's not respecting people around her, then how is she going to respect you as her husband, as the head of the home and all these things? How is she going to submit to you? So this is a very, very important thing to think of when you go out on dates and you're at the dinner table. How are you both treating like the waitress or the cleaner or all these people? You know, are you just like feeling like whatever, shouting and just barking, or are you really being nice and gentle and wonderful to everyone around you? How are you treating just the people around you, your siblings, everything like that? You know, it all matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Ask yourself also, like, will this person make you compromise on your values? Do they respect your values? Because you may enter into a relationship or marriage with similar values that align, but then if God forbid the person strays away from God.
Excuse me.
Sorry. If the person if let's say the person strays away from God a little bit, will they also want to drag you back with them, or will they allow you to stick and hold on to God, so that also in that process you can pray for them to come out of that, right?
And compromise is a huge thing. It's something that happens a lot in relationships. You may find a guy who is like, you don't drink. First of all, what are you doing with someone who is not? You see, this is why we say, like, I go with someone whose values you align with, because you won't be faced with these temptations, right? If you know that you're waiting till marriage, you're not gonna drink, you're not gonna do all these things, you will be on the same page. It's even easier. But then now you're with someone, Atemanya PCM, preach, convert, marry. You will be converted, my dear. And we're gonna have a video on that, by the way, so stay tuned. But compromise. Will they make you compromise as you're dating them? Ask yourself, are they making you compromise? Or, you know, and this brings me to the next thing, which is, are they drawing you close to God, or are they drawing you away from God? So you have to ask yourself that thing and analyze it in the relationship. And sometimes, by the way, it's very easy to be, I guess, blinded by the so-called love, which is not true love. True love doesn't blind you, you know. It's very easy to be blinded by this person, infatuation. That's infatuation, not true love. But if you are in that situation and you can't really analyze these things for yourself, tell your closest friends or the person whom you're closest to, maybe your parents or whatever, to analyze these things for you, and so that they can tell you, are they this or are they that? Are they drawing you with the person they knew you as before? Was that person closer to God, and now that they're in a relationship they are away from God, or how is it going? So
right, awesome. So the next point in terms of the attributes that if you're getting prepared to get into a relationship, is ask yourself, are you ready for a relationship? You know, not the why as to, you know, why are you getting into that relationship? Right? Because don't just get into a relationship because you just want to get off this phase,
or because everyone around you is married, or because everyone around you is in a relationship. Don't just do things just because of what's going on around you, or it's like a trend. No. This is a commitment. So you don't want to waste somebody's time, and you don't want to waste your own time. So make sure that you ask yourself, why am I getting myself into this relationship? Like, what is my reason for this, and do I have a strong reason as to why I'm getting into this, or am I just going into it for the wrong reasons?
Relationships it's a commitment, so it's not something that you just want to get into it just for the sake, because you're going to end up wasting the other person's time.
And your
wasting
own.
your time,
Yeah.
and you're going to end up causing a lot of heartache, which you don't want to.
Yeah. So just wait until you know your why to be able to get into a relationship. Yeah, and the next thing is, do you know who you're getting into a relationship with?
Yeah, it's easy for someone to say, "Oh, I know them. We go to the
By
same
the way,
church."
guys, write down these questions. Write down these things. They will
Yeah.
help you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy. You've been seeing someone at church every Sabbath, and you're like, I know them. They smile. They make me happy. They read the.
I know
the,
their
the
favorite
Bible.
color.
Yeah, I know them. Do you really know
My
them?
dearest, no. Ask yourself, do you really know who you're getting yourself into a relationship with?
Yeah.
You may get yourself into a relationship with a very, very wrong person. So make sure you do your background research.
Yeah.
Find out as much information as possible. If it means like going out on dates, do it. Do whatever you need to do. Even on the background, there is social media nowadays. Just go on the phone, search their name, check. I know some people are good at keeping it clean.
Yeah.
But try to get as much information as possible so that you know who you're trying to get yourself into a relationship with.
And observe as much as possible.
Yep.
Observe how this person treats other people.
Yeah.
Observe how they react in certain circumstances. Observe their comments, their contributions towards certain discussions, and try to pick their minds. Be very, very watchful.
Yep. And the next one is, do you have similar beliefs?
I think that should be the first one.
That should be the first one, but we have kept it here. We've kept it here. Do you have similar beliefs? Or are you just like, again, PCM, one year, what?
We'll see.
My dearest, it's not the best thing to do. It's not.
Yeah, this is very important because the person can tell you, I'm going to get baptized, I'm going to convert, and they can do it. We've seen examples.
Yeah.
People end up getting baptized, and then you get into the relationship, you get married, and then
you're the prayer warrior of the
leave.
home.
They leave and they say, what, I just wanted to get you. And, they don't really have their own foundation in the faith, so it's based on you, right?
Yeah, so try to prevent being unequally yoked, And to be honest, if you are getting attracted to someone who is out of the faith, then you need to check yourself first. You need to check yourself and analyze yourself. You may be in the church, but your heart is out of the church as well. So and when we say the church, we don't just mean that building and whatnot. We mean your heart,
foundation,
your foundation,
right? Yeah, so also, are you ready to settle down with that person? Because if you're not
do you see a future? Or you're just here, we'll see where it goes. That thing drives me nuts whenever people say
it always
that.
goes south.
Okay, at the beginning, when you're going for like your first date, obviously, like, you're going to get to know the person more, right? You can't really judge. But after getting to know them more, seeing, observing, doing all these things that were just mentioned, and you're seeing red flags, therefore you're just there. Like, we'll see where it goes. But you never know, he will change. But I believe that I will change him.
How can he change
Or I will
him?
change
if
her.
God is not able to change that person.
Please, don't think you're more mighty than God. And God can change them, but it takes it has to come from within. That person has to willingly accept Christ in their heart, So please stay away from that thing.
Yeah, it's always good to ask yourself this question because it prevents wasting each other's time and trifling with hearts, which we'll talk about.
We're gonna have a whole video on that.
It may be a new term to you, but this is something very,
very, very important.
Ask yourself, what is the goal of this relationship?
Please have a goal in mind, people.
It's like going outside the house and saying,
even when you're going on, even after, okay, for the first date, I always say it's okay. You can go as friends, and all of that. But for the second date, and now you're going on third date, and Ask the guy, what is the goal here?
Yeah.
Because he's the one who asks you on a date, right? So what's the goal? What's the aim? It's you're not being you're not approaching him in a way that is what is it called? You're not telling him, you're not pursuing
pushing,
him,
yeah,
you know.
you're not,
You're not pursuing him by asking that. You're actually showing him I'm not the type of girl to joke with for the females, right? Like, and even
you
for
just
the
want to know
males,
the intention.
yeah, and even for the males, you are taking this girl out. Now it's the third time or the fourth time or whatever. Ask her, you tell her your intentions and see where things are going. If you see that, because by the time you go on a second date and a third date, it means you guys are really interested in each other, right? So make sure you have a goal of where this relationship is going. Don't just say we shall see where things go.
You want a
Are you
baddie-
dating?
a baddie
And
to
this
go
this
with.
this is what leads to situationships.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what we should
afterwards
talk
your
about.
heart breaks. You know, so guys, prevent heartbreak. I don't know, like we cause heartbreaks to ourselves, which is such an annoying thing. Stop causing heartbreak to yourself. Just be direct, be forward, and be like, so where are we going? What is happening? Like, I don't think none of us is just sits in a car and is like, drive, and then you just sit. Like, please, you always have a goal, right? You
Sense
always
of
say, okay, we're
direction.
heading here, we're heading to this place, this point. So do the same thing for your relationship. Stop just sitting and allowing someone to drive you around and take you around. They're gonna waste your time, you're gonna waste their time, and then it's gonna lead to so many issues in the future, and you would have ended up being good friends, and then now you become enemies. So just avoid that. Yeah.
So we're going to the big question now.
The big question.
So is age a factor?
Is age a factor? Ooh. This is a question that I know you've been waiting up to this time to hear about it, but it is such an important question to ask yourself. Is age a factor? And this is what our take on it is. The most important thing is maturity, not age. Some people are so focused on age and they forget the maturity part. Maturity is so important. You can have someone whom your age mates, or they're even way older than you. The maturity level, one is here, the other one is here. You don't see eye to eye. At the end of the day, the thing is, do you see eye to eye? Are your goals aligning? Is the other person, for you, you're still in high school, and the other person, for them, they want kids immediately. Like, even these things, right? Age plays whatever in this.
Because there are some
Because
unrealistic.
the guy is in his 30 whatevers. For him, he wants children. You are in your 18.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like,
It doesn't, you know. So you have to ask yourself, first of all, is the maturity level the same? You know, and I know some of you may want mature guys, and yet you yourself, you're not mature. Or you, the guy, you want a mature lady. I don't know. Especially guys who approach mature ladies, and yet you're so young, and yet you're so
you look
immature.
like a son.
I don't know. It's just a funny combination. So try to don't prevent yourself just because maybe the person is 1 year younger or a few years younger. It's not about really how young they are or how old they are, because we ourselves, if we're to give ourselves as an example, I am 22 now, and James is turning 31 this year. So we have a 9-year age gap, you know, but our maturity levels match. So my parents watch our love story to see how my parents reacted, but they didn't react in a crazy way of like, how dare you bring that old guy now home. No, because they knew my maturity level, right? So it's the same thing. Know your maturity level and then find someone who aligns with that maturity level. You may be 34 and yet you're lying yourself that you have a mind of a 34-year-old, and yet you have a mind of a 26-year-old, and you're attracted to 26-year-olds because you have their maturity level. So please stop lying to yourself. Just know your maturity level and find someone who is in that range. But regarding age as a number, there is something we have to say about that.
Yeah, age as a number, like in
You
terms
have
of,
to be.
let's say, like you have to be at a certain point, because they're like, for example, the teenage years. This is a year. There are years where the hormones are imbalance. I don't know if it's imbalance. Like you're developing.
You're still growing.
And you're in puberty.
Yeah.
And everything is on the top, right?
Yeah.
So it's very easy to
be driven
make
by your feelings.
Yeah. Decisions based on emotions and just making the wrong decisions.
Yeah. So if you're still in your teenage years, we would really advise that you don't get into a relationship yet. And also, apart from like your hormones and everything playing that thing, I know that doesn't happen for everyone, and some people get out of it before even their age. But then for most people, that's how it is. Your mind is not really cognitively thinking,
Right.
but you're mostly driven by your feelings. But also another thing during that time is, we always say that once you get into a relationship, you have to be ready to get married within at least maximum 3 years. So ask yourself, now that you're 15 and you're dating, by 18, are you ready to get married? Like, you're 14 and you're dating, by 17, are you ready to get married?
And
So
you're just in high school.
yeah,
you
so
don't
I
even
would
know what
suggest best that you just hold on, like until the right age, and then you can eventually get into a relationship and settle down.
Yeah.
But also another thing to do with age as a number that I wanted to speak of is there are things that we usually just don't recommend. I would say the age range between again, this depends on maturity levels, but the age gap of like 0 to maximum like 10, 11, 12 is kind of healthy. Maximum 12, maximum. But above that,
it's
we're not saying no.
And it also depends with someone's age. If someone is 60 and you know what I mean, like if someone is 45 and the other person is 60, that makes more sense than someone being 15 and then the other person is 30, right?
Yeah, 35 or something.
Yeah.
So like try to avoid huge age gaps as well, like very extremely huge, because whether it be like on the opposite end of being younger, like the guy is like 10 years, 12 years younger, or the girl is like this amount of years older, like try to avoid crazy huge age gaps, because hey man, guys, the thing with this is, I'll just speak on it quickly. The thing with these huge age gaps is, this person, for them now, they may have, like, let's say James is like in his late 30s going into 40s, and me, I'm in my early 20s. And now me, I want to enjoy life. I'm still in that mode of energy. We go for this hiking and what and this, and then the other one has enjoyed those things. Now for them, they just want to chill, be at home and all that. So okay, if you align, sure, well and great for you. And again, God is the one who chooses the person for you. So if God has chosen someone with you with a crazy huge age gap, for sure, go ahead. But we don't really advise on that because of what we have seen. It just leads to, like, there's so much miscommunication. Like, this person is so mature, they could be your dad. Especially those age gaps where they could be like your dad, and then they're giving you advice like as if you're their kid.
It doesn't really hit home.
Or like the girl is like she's your mama all of a sudden because she's now way older than you. We don't advise on that. So try to avoid crazy huge age gaps, but in all of this, seek the Lord's guidance.
God is the one to lead you, and if you've been paying close attention to the points that we started with, as you seek God, God is going to guide you to the right person. He's going to guide you to the right place. So we hope that this video has
informed you of certain things, educated you in a certain way, and we hope that you guys have also enjoyed it. And please don't keep this video to yourself. Make sure you share it with
your friends, and not just your friends, anyone you see that you think it would benefit. And make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you like this video, and be blessed.
Be blessed. So we hope that God blesses you and that these things will impact you in a positive way. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.